Welcome to digital learning. Dear students, we are studying in this session Unit 2, Session 18 of Organizational Behavior of 5th semester BBA of Mangalore University. The topic of discussion today is perception process and factors affecting perception. In the last session, we have studied the principles of perception, and the learning objective of this session is to understand the factors influencing the perception and perceptual process. Students will be able to understand the factors influencing the perception and perceptual process after listening to this session. The content of these topics are perception process and factors affecting perception. Let us discuss about perception process. Perception is defined as a process of receiving, selecting, organizing, interpreting, checking, and reacting and reaching to the stimuli. This is like input, throughput, output process. The whole perceptual process can be presented as receiving stimuli, selection of stimuli, organization of stimuli, interpretation of stimuli, and action. Let us discuss them one by one. First one is receiving stimuli. Stimuli are received from various sources through 5 organs. We see things, objects, hear sounds, smell, taste, and touch things. Second process is selection of stimuli. People selectively perceive objects or things which interest to them most in a particular situation and avoid those for which they are indifferent. This selective perception involves 2 principles: figure ground principle and relevancy. Figure ground principle: the meaningful bits and pieces of stimuli are called figure, and meaningless one are called ground. More attention is given to the figure and less to the ground. Take the example of a blackboard. Blackboard is not given importance, but what is written on the blackboard is given importance. Relevancy: people selectively perceive things that they consider relevant to meet their needs and desires. Third step in the perceptual process is organization of stimuli. Organization is organizing the bit of information into meaningful word. There are 3 ways of organizing the selected data or inputs. Grouping: it is the tendency to group stimuli appearing similar in certain ways. Closure: when people face with the incomplete information, they tend to fill the gaps themselves to make them more meaningful. Simplification: people try to simplify the overloaded information to make it more meaningful and understandable. This is done by subtracting less salient information and concentrate on important one. Fourth step in perceptual process is interpretation of stimuli. Selectively perceived and organized information is interpreted in terms of their assumption of people, things, or situation. Interpretation of stimuli is affected by characteristics of stimuli, situation of the perception, and characteristics of the perceiver. Several factors affect or influence the interpretation of stimuli. First one is halo effect, which means single factor is taken for interpreting perception. On the basis of a single factor, we interpret the perception. We tell them he is good or he is bad according to one single factor. Stereotyping: individuals are judged on the basis of characteristics of the group to which they belong. If a person is belonging to a particular class in a college, and that classroom has good quality people, to good quality students, then each and everybody is graded as good students. Personality, situation, and the perceiver are other factors which affect the interpretation of stimuli. And fifth step in the perceptual process is action. Action is the last phase here. Action may be positive or negative. It may be covert or overt also. And next topic we are discussing here is factors affecting perception. There are 2 types of the factors: external factors and internal factors. Now we discuss external factors. First one is size. Size influences the attention and recognition in a more effective manner. If the size is big, people get the attention. It gets the attention of the people. Intensity. The more intense the external stimulus, the more like it to be perceived. If an object is intense, if the light is intense, the attention of the people is grabbed by it. Contrast, external stimuli which stands against the background will receive the attention. If something is standing against the background, that item will get more attention. Repetition, a repeated external stimuli is more attention getting than the single one. For example, the advertisement is repeated in different medias. When it is repeated several times, it gets attention. Motion, moving object draws more attention as compared to stationary object. When something is moving, it gets your attention. If something is stationary, it doesn't get more attention. Novelty and familiarity, novel or familiar external situation as attention getter. So novel or familiar things gets your attention. And internal factors, need and desires, unreal things often look real because of the deprived needs. Learning, people lead to perceive what they want to perceive as per their level of learning, experience or age difference. One successful experience enhances his or her perceptive ability. Psychological setup, people perceive what they like to perceive because of their attitudinal and mental approaches. Last one is personality. Personality of the perceiver affects what is attended or perceived in the given situation. So to sum up, perception is a selective process. This process is affected by various variety of factors which may be grouped into two categories, external factors and internal factors. You can refer these books for further studies, and we have some questions here. People lead to perceive what they want to perceive as per their level of dash. This is the first question. Learning, unlearning, perception, none of the above. Second question is organizing the bits of information into meaningful whole is known as selection of stimuli, interpretation of stimuli, simplification, organization of stimuli. Third question is which among the following is an external factor affecting the perception? Needs and desires, contrast, learning, all of the above. Grouping is based on dash of various stimuli received. Integrity, similarity or proximity, difference, none of the above. Last question is a repeated external stimulus is dash attention getting than single one. Less, more, neutral, none of the above. Hope you have understood this lesson, and the questions are also understood by you, and the answer is given here. For first question A, for second question B, third question B, fourth question answer is B, fifth question answer also B. Thank you for listening to this class.